Everyone, welcome back to the shop. Michael here. I'm working this week on a couple of bedside tables. So if you've been watching this channel for a while, you may have seen my bed build, which I built a very specific bed for my converted attic space. I've not covered that space on this channel. I haven't talked about it, and there isn't a build video for it, but I can kind of cover the details really quick. It's a 250 square foot attic that I converted. It is a truss system, so it's full head height in the middle, but it quickly tapers off, and it has beams that cut through that are the structural support of the attic. It was a really cool build because it kind of came out like this interesting diamond shape, and I tried to accentuate the lines and the angles that were naturally in there. So it's all sheathed in plywood, it's spray foam insulated, and the 2x4s are all painted out to look nice. It's been a great space. I've been sleeping up there for a little over a year, and I like it a lot. The one thing it is missing though is a set of bedside tables. So this is the template that I've made. It requires some very specific shapes to just fit things in. I've got 60-degree angles here and here, and then it'll be 2 sets of drawers. So I'm excited to get started. Let's do this. So I'm guessing that there are a lot of people out there yelling at their computer screen, what the heck is that material he's using? And that also means that you didn't see my record cabinet build, so you should go check that out. This stuff is called PaperStone, and more specifically with the plywood core, it's called CoverPly. This is awesome stuff. I love working with this stuff, and I actually reached out to one of the distributors, Kara Green, to see if they would sponsor this video, and they agreed to sponsor this video, and hopefully it means that we're going to work with this stuff a lot more in the future. I love this stuff because it is eco-friendly. It is made with recycled paper and a non-petroleum based resin. It has a marine grade plywood core, and it's super robust. It's great for kitchen countertops, and you can just cut it with regular woodworking tools. So it's awesome stuff. If you want to learn more about it, I'll post a link down below. So I've got 4 parts made, and these are the sides of the cabinet. So these 2 are the insides, and those are the tops. One of the things that I still have to do is cut a 60-degree angle right here, which will accept the side of the cabinet. And then you'll notice with this one that I didn't have enough material, so I had to glue on an extra little bit. That's what that was about. So I cut it with a little gap right here so that I have room for edge banding. Alright, so everything is dry fitted and I'm really happy with the results so far. Things are nice and square and aligned to one another. So I think the next step is to cut this section in here, which is a little bit of a challenge, but really all it is a set of 60-degree angles that are parallel to one another. Huh? I was planning on sneaking up on that cut, but they got it in one, apparently. So this is just a piece of scrap. I've been testing it out, and then I've got the longer board that will be the final piece. So I guess I'll cut it to this dimension. One of the things that I need to be mindful of when I use the jointer is that I want to make sure that this is registered completely against the plate. If you shift it a little bit too far down, the miter can actually slip underneath the registration and your cut isn't going to be very accurate. So I'm going to have to inset the dominoes a little bit further than I normally would. So you'll notice that I used hardwood edge banding on this project, and you might be wondering why I don't use iron-on. I stopped using iron-on in my shop, and I did that for multiple reasons, but the main thing is I just kind of started losing confidence in it over the years. I've had a couple cabinets, the veneer will start to pull away after a while, and I just can't have that. If I've got a client that has a piece of furniture and 2 years later that edge banding pulls up, it's just not worth it to me. I'll take the extra time and put a hardwood edge banding on pretty much every piece of plywood furniture I build. There are loads of benefits to it. It's much more robust, and I think it looks better. So if you haven't tried it in your own shop, I'd recommend it. It's not that much more difficult to do, and I think the results are a lot better. So I've got the 60-degree angle marked, and I need to cut it on all 4 of these pieces. One thing to note is that if you cut them like this, you're going to be very angry because when you go to glue them up, that angle is going to flip around to the other side, and it's just not going to work. So what you need to do is put them face to face like that, so the rabbet kind of lines up. Double stick tape them together like that. Do the same thing on this set, and then the angle should be right. So I put in a 12-hour day yesterday, and that's after a bunch of days of working client projects and building this as well. And it kind of showed in my measurements that I was a little tired. I'm a little bit mad. It's okay. It's gonna be just fine. I gotta check my my OCD for a minute. But the drawer boxes are too small. So these drawers are designed to have runners on them, and I made the decision to do 3/8 inch runners, which that in of itself was kind of a weird call because I probably could have gotten away with 1/2 inch. But in order to put runners on the side, I'm going to use wooden runners. The boxes need to have a gap at both sides. So I need a 3/8 inch gap on each side, and if you add those 2 gaps together, you get 3/4 of an inch. So that's the number that I had written down, 3/4 of an inch. When I went to do all the measuring, I decided to add 3/4 of an inch on both sides. And so I end up with an 1.5 inch gap, which means that in order to make this work, I need a 3/4 inch gap on each side, which means that I have 3/4 inch runners, which are massive and unnecessary. But it's gonna get this project finished, and like I said, I don't really need the drawer space, so that's what I'm gonna do. I'm not happy about it. I've got a 3/4 inch radius bit installed into the router, and then obviously these pieces are pretty, they're not very stable because they're so small, and so I made this really simple jig. All it has is a 90-degree cut in here, and this part locks onto that one. So when I set it onto the table, I place the corner of this against the fence and then introduce the workpiece to the router bit on a kind of pivot. And that keeps it nice and safe, nice and stable. I complete the cut and pull it back the same way. Thanks so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed that build. I'm really happy with how they came out, and it's so nice to finally have this space finished off. Let me know if you got any questions about the build or about the space itself in the comments down below. Also, if you want to learn more about PaperStone or CoverPly, I've got links in the description, as well as links to all the tools that I use throughout the video. So check that out. If you're not subscribed already, hit that subscribe button, and follow me on Instagram. I'm really active over there. So I think that's all I've got for this one. I'll catch you on the next one. Thanks a lot. Bye.